First ever time when I fought in January, the earliest I've ever fought. It's going to ruin my Christmas dinner and my birthday because I'm 31 like 3 weeks before it. But it's all going to be worth it when I lift that real title above my head. And Paddy the Baddy is a world champion. And 2026 is going to be the biggest year of my life. I am coming for that interim title. Then I'll come and beat Ilia Topuria up and take the undisputed title. And then little posh boy, if he manages to fight in that time, because he likes sitting out and saying he's got a sore back. If little posh boy fights in that time and keeps his ranking, I'll punch his head in as well.
All right, let's get into it. So, obviously you just saw Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim title. Earlier, Topuria posted, I'm dealing with some personal problems, so I'm not gonna fight the first quarter. So the winner of Gaethje versus Paddy will be the interim title, and then they will face Topuria.
An interim champion basically means the #1 contender. But if Paddy can pull it off, unbelievable. That'll be 4 champs, 2 interims and 2 legit, well 3 legit now with Tom being promoted from the UK that have become champions. And for Justin Gaethje, this is the final go. This is the final crack of the whip. The man's had 2 title fights in the past, Charles Oliveira to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and now he gets to go up against Paddy Pimblett. Now, talking about the matchup, of course, it is an easier fight for Justin than what it is against Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the greatest of all time. Islam Makhachev, the current pound for pound, and according to many people, a man that is surpassing Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? So in that regard, it is an easier matchup. Will Paddy be able to take him down? Will he dance around the octagon? Yes, he will. Will he try and replicate the game plan of Max Holloway? Of course he will. Who wouldn't try and do that? You aren't going to stand and go toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje because the man does have knockout power.
Dana kept it straightforward when discussing Paddy and Justin. He explained that with Ilya not fighting in the first quarter due to personal reasons, the UFC needed a fighter to step in and fill the spot. That's why Paddy and Justin were matched for the interim title, with the winner set to face Ilya later. This fight isn't just about bragging rights. It determines who gets the next title shot.
I think that's a good chance for Paddy to win, but with real risks about his defensive striking along the way. Yeah. And really, obviously, as we all could understand, a last hurrah, certainly, for Justin Gaethje.
Michael Bisping broke down Paddy versus Justin, highlighting the challenge Paddy faces. He noted that Justin, despite being older, still possesses immense power and an aggressive style. Bisping emphasized Justin's hard strikes, relentless pace, and pressure, which make him tough for any lightweight to handle. He reminded everyone that Justin only looked bad against Holloway because he got caught with a clean shot. But that's not usually his style. Justin's game is about marching forward, throwing heavy punches, and pushing his opponent into a war.
All right, let's get into it. So, obviously you just saw Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim title. Earlier, Topuria posted, I'm dealing with some personal problems, so I'm not gonna fight the first quarter. So the winner of Gaethje versus Paddy will be the interim title, and then they will face Topuria.
Bisping also pointed out that Paddy has a real chance, especially after his performance against Chandler, where he showed he can handle pressure and rise to big moments. Paddy's movement and striking have improved, and his confidence is at an all-time high. Bisping believes Paddy will use his speed, mix in takedowns, and keep Justin chasing him around the octagon. He stressed that Paddy is in excellent shape, which is a big advantage in a fight like this. Bisping also warned that Justin can't just rely on his power, as Paddy has proven he can handle the heat.
Down the line, because there's certainly a storyline built in, but this is a very, very tough competitive matchup. Now, Justin Gaethje is no spring chicken. I think he's 36 years old. But you know what you're going to get with Justin Gaethje. Yes, of course, against Max Holloway at UFC 300, he got knocked out. He got embarrassed. He got face planted. I tell you what, it was a shocking scene, okay? But that's not normally what happens with Justin Gaethje. He is one of the most exciting fighters. They do call him the human highlight reel for a reason. He's got great wrestling, but the boxing, the striking, the leg kicks, the punch power that he has, I'm telling you, this man.
Bisping noted that an interim champion is typically the #1 contender, but if Paddy wins, it would be huge for the UK. For Justin, this could be his last chance at a title after 2 previous attempts, and this matchup feels less daunting compared to fighting guys like Khabib. However, Paddy won't just stand in front of Justin. He'll move, mix things up, and avoid his power.
Is no joke, and neither is Paddy Pimblett, right? We saw last time against Michael Chandler, he is the real deal. He absolutely smoked him. He's undefeated in the UFC. He put a beating on Michael Chandler. And let's remember, Chandler went toe-to-toe with Gaethje, gave Dustin Poirier a good run, knocked out Dan Hooker. So it's not like he's a bum. Yes, he hasn't been winning fights. We all know that. But Paddy made it look different. He beat the living hell out of him. Simple as that. And I knew he had something coming up because last week when I saw him in Qatar, the man was playing paddle, right? Like a paddle bro. He had his shirt off in the sun. He was glistening. He had the 6-pack. He looked great. We all call him Paddy the fatty, right? Well, he isn't fat right now. The man looked to be in the best shape of his life. And he didn't even have a fight announced.
Luke Thomas broke down the fight as a classic striker versus grappler matchup. Justin is the more polished puncher with knockout power, but Paddy's tendency to keep his chin high could be a problem. Thomas warned that Justin doesn't need many openings. Just one clean shot could turn the fight in an instant. However, he also pointed out that Paddy has something Justin struggles with: his back control. If Paddy gets on Justin's back or secures a tight clinch, he can drag him down and control the fight from there.
An interim champion basically means the #1 contender. But if Paddy can pull it off, unbelievable. That'll be 4 champs, 2 interims and 2 legit, well 3 legit now with Tom being promoted from the UK that have become champions. And for Justin Gaethje, this is the final go. This is the final crack of the whip. The man's had 2 title fights in the past, Charles Oliveira to Khabib Nurmagomedov, and now he gets to go up against Paddy Pimblett. Now, talking about the matchup, of course, it is an easier fight for Justin than what it is against Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the greatest of all time. Islam Makhachev, the current pound for pound, and according to many people, a man that is surpassing Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? So in that regard, it is an easier matchup. Will Paddy be able to take him down? Will he dance around the octagon? Yes, he will. Will he try and replicate the game plan of Max Holloway? Of course he will. Who wouldn't try and do that? You aren't going to stand and go toe-to-toe with Justin Gaethje because the man does have knockout power.
Luke mentioned that the odds might be close because Paddy is big for the weight class and only needs one good clinch to take Justin down. However, Justin can change the fight with just one well-placed strike. Thomas sees this as a crucial moment for both fighters: Justin's last big run and Paddy's chance to prove he belongs at the top.
You think that exactly goes, Gaethje on the feet and Paddy on the ground. So let's talk about the fight itself. It's a great question. There's just no doubt in my mind, a bit of striker versus grappler. Paddy can strike for sure, but he leaves his chin in the air. It's a real tough test for Paddy, but the problem is, we all know Gaethje has just, of course, he's got good defensive wrestling, but as you saw with Khabib, if you just force him to his hands, or there's different ways for him to get to his back, once you do that, it's a problem. He seems like a fish out of water at this point. So Paddy, who is a back specialist, both in obtaining it and then maintaining position, that's very advantageous. At the same time, he's got a little bit of that going on, and I think a guy like Gaethje can still send his chin into orbit. So very much a striker versus grappler, but it just feels like Paddy is big for the weight class, and all he really has to do is clinch and then get behind the elbows, and then that's...
Thomas also feels Justin has a significant edge over Paddy, citing Justin's aggression and power. While Paddy is smart and crafty in the cage, Justin's ability to apply constant pressure and land heavy strikes might eventually overwhelm him. Thomas believes that Paddy may struggle to avoid Justin's power shots, especially over 5 rounds, and his inability to take Justin down easily could cost him the fight.
All he has to do is level change, not get it, and then just sort of come up and get behind one of the elbows. You're in on the body lock, and now it's a problem, because then he can just force him. He can either Kosoto hook, trip him out, force him to his hands. So I would imagine Paddy might be, it's going to be close, I think, in the odds. I don't want to say what the odds would be, because that's really not my forte in any kind of way. But I would imagine that the odds are probably going to be kind of close. I would think that that's a good chance for Paddy to win, but with real risks about his defensive striking along the way. Yeah. And really, obviously, as we all could understand, a last hurrah, certainly, for Justin Gaethje.
Thomas added that while Paddy has proven he can compete with tough fighters, he doesn't have the experience or skills to match someone like Justin when the fight gets intense. Justin controls fights with his pace and violence, something Paddy might struggle with. Even though Justin is aging, Thomas believes he can still handle Paddy, and this could be Paddy's best shot at a UFC title. With Justin looking to secure his legacy, Thomas feels this matchup gives Paddy a realistic shot, even though Justin is the favorite.
Oh, I'm leaning towards Gaethje for sure.
Yeah?
I think absolutely. I mean, just, Gaethje he's still a banger, man. And it's some like Paddy's crafty. Paddy's really crafty. And he's shown that he can withstand certain things and he can hang around with certain guys. But I just think, when Justin Gaethje gets rolling downhill and the amount of violence and he's able to catch up to people, like you can try to be crafty as you possibly can with Justin Gaethje. Max Holloway was able to do that. Like Max Holloway was, he was obviously doing very well. But then when he sat down on his punches, I mean, we saw what happened. So I'm not sure that Paddy Pimblett has the ability to do that. And I'm pretty sure Paddy Pimblett can't take Gaethje down. So I'm leaning towards Gaethje, in fact, pretty heavily, actually.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it too much, but over 5 rounds, it is an interesting fight. I mean, we'll see if Paddy can get Gaethje, or he can get on top of him. We saw how violent he was against Michael Chandler, so that would be interesting. But yeah, the task is getting Justin to his back first, because he's not easy to take down either.
No, and we've seen him. He's moving. Justin Gaethje's moving better, but when he wants to really sit down and be violent, he can. And I think that's going to present problems for Paddy. It's going to force Paddy to make some mistakes, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to take the amount of punishment that Justin Gaethje's able to dish out.
MMA Guru believes Paddy has a legitimate shot at beating Justin. He praised Paddy's ability to maintain distance and avoid getting too close where Justin's power can shine. Paddy's volume striking, including combinations and dynamic moves, could give him an advantage. MMA Guru also pointed out that Justin is getting older and has endured a lot of tough fights, while Paddy is in his prime and in great shape for this matchup.
I reckon Pimblett's going to win. He keeps at very good range, keeps his distance a lot, doesn't get caught up in the pocket too much, throws in volume when he does throw a lot of the time with his 1-2, 1-2, and then a jump knee, and a lot of dynamic things that can get the better of Gaethje. Plus, he's going to mix in the takedowns. And Gaethje's getting up there in his career. He's just going through more and more wars, more and more scraps, a ton of time off. Pimblett coming into his prime, has been in shape for a while for this matchup.
The MMA Guru also thinks Paddy could mix in grappling effectively. He believes Paddy has the tools to submit Justin, given his strong back control and ability to maintain dominant positions. Comparing it to how Fizio controlled Justin, MMA Guru feels Paddy could capitalize on mistakes and either submit Justin or land ground and pound, especially in the later rounds.
This is an amazing fight. This is a banger matchup. And I do think Pimblett will win. I think Pimblett will probably sub him as well. I think he'll mix it up. Takedowns, striking, something Fiziev did, but doesn't have the jiu-jitsu to keep a hold of Gaethje with. And Fiziev kept Gaethje down in like an inverted triangle position for like the majority of round 1. I know Gaethje's somewhat decent at scrambling, but it turns out Chandler has no ability to control in any way whatsoever without throwing himself off the top of someone and ending up on bottom, or messing it up completely and using a ton of energy for no success. So I think Pimblett's got that back-taking ability. Pimblett's got that control, that stick to you, that get you in a submission position type jiu-jitsu, that, which is obviously any type of jiu-jitsu. But you know what I mean? He's got that level that I think is going to be able to keep Gaethje down with his back taken for a while in this fight. So I'm going to go with Paddy Pimblett here. I'm going to say Pimblett wins this fight by a TKO to ground and pound in the second round, or a submission win in the second round. And we'll see what happens, because after that, he's going to be fighting Ilia Topuria.
So, what are the experts saying about Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett? Some believe Justin's power, experience, and aggression will be too much for Paddy to handle, while others feel Paddy's skills, movement, and strategy give him a real shot at the win. This matchup has the potential to go either way, with both fighters bringing something exciting to the cage. Paddy has already started his training camp and looks focused and in great shape, treating this as a massive opportunity. This could be a fast-paced, action-packed fight with the possibility of a finish. We want to hear from you. Who do you think will come out on top? Will Justin's experience and power win the day, or will Paddy's skill and strategy prevail? Let us know in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to the Combat Files for more MMA news and updates.